2024 has been an incredible year in games for me. And I'm not just talking about brand new stuff that's come out exclusively this year. I'm also talking about a lot of other games that I've played. I mean, I've played and finished well over 23 games at this point, I think. So that's the most games I've ever played in a single year at this point in my life. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some games that I've just finished and some games that I'm currently playing now, because where else would I really talk about them? As always, before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below. Let me know what games you guys are playing. I really always like to see what you're playing, because it might inspire me to pick some of those games up as well. So first on the list here is going to be what would have been my game of the year if it wasn't for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out this year. And that's Astro Bot. Now, if you have a PlayStation 5, chances are, yes, you've played Astro's Playroom, and what I thought was a cutesy little tech demo ended up being a really great core memory for me and my son. As you know, he's gotten older and started to play games. We've really enjoyed playing Astro's Playroom and bonded over that, and he's gotten really great at games because of this game. But when Astro Bot was announced a couple of months ago, I absolutely hit the deck with excitement, because we like this cute little tech demo game, and now there's going to be a full-fledged game with this character that we really love. I couldn't be more excited. So we counted down the weeks, the days, the day of release. I didn't tell my son that the game was coming out. Of course, he's 4. He doesn't know when release days are. I went to the shops, I got this game, and as soon as I got back to the house, I set it up for him, and he was so excited, and it was great. So Astro Bot has now become kind of a core memory, a pillar of gaming for my son and I, and we were super excited to get in this game, and we actually beat it within a day and a half. We started it on the Friday evening, and then we completed the game the next Saturday, and then the week after that I actually platinumed the game. This is my first platinum ever. And I never platinum games ever, because once I finished with the story in games, that's really it for me. But we just kept playing and playing and having so much fun. This is a really great game if you just like having fun. Honestly, there's no reason why somebody shouldn't enjoy this game. There's so many different worlds you can go to. There's so many different power-ups and pals that help you get through these levels. There's just so much variety, and this is a perfect game for somebody like me who grew up playing Nintendo 64 collectathons or platformers. This game is just a love letter to stuff like that. And it's funny because this, in my opinion, is the best exclusive on the PlayStation 5. And I say that because there's really no other great exclusives that are on PS5, because a lot of other stuff is branching off now to PC. So aside from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which will probably come to PC at some stage, Astro Bot's going to be the best game on the system that's exclusive to Sony consoles for the time being. I also love the amount of collectibles and little guys that you can save in Astro Bot. Of course, as a fan of the Yakuza series, being able to find and rescue Kiryu was really fun, with the Kamurocho gates as well. And I was also a big surprise to see Dart from the Legend of Dragoon here, and that was really cool. Honestly, I remember saying, wow, I can't believe that Dart is here. And of course my son didn't really care, because he's like, what's the Legend of Dragoon? I don't care about that. I was also very disappointed with the lack of Square Enix characters. I mean, Final Fantasy is huge in terms of Sony consoles and Sony experiences, and being on the PlayStation 1 and 2, I just find it a very interesting choice, maybe business choice or something else, why there were no Square representatives here, especially considering the Buster Sword was in Astro's Playroom in the SSD Speedway. So I don't know, bit disappointing, but still I really enjoyed the game regardless. And yes, we did get the controller. I love the controller. I think it's super cool. I don't normally care about these kind of things, but again, this is like a core memory thing for my son. We really just love bonding over Astro. So yeah, I love this. This was a really great, complete experience, and I had a lot of fun with this game. Loved it. Okay, so next up is going to be Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. You guys, if you've watched my channel, you've known that I've gone through the whole Yakuza series. I've gone through Judgment. I was looking for something else in the kind of similar vein of these games, and RGG Studio has actually done a game based off of the anime Fist of the North Star, something I've never watched or really been interested in, because it hasn't really been brought to my attention until now. But this is so funny, because while this game is based off of this anime, it plays exactly like a Yakuza game. It is absolutely wild. It even has some of the voice actors coming back for this game. Of course, you know, if you're a big fan of Yakuza, you know Kiryu. His voice actor is in here as the main character, Kenshiro. Really cool. It's amazing. I mean, if you've got Date's voice actor, you've got Majima's voice actor, a couple other people here as well. It's honestly, it feels like I'm playing a Yakuza game, and even more so because you can get the Kiryu skin, the character skin for Kenshiro, and play that way. For me, it was worth the extra $5 for that DLC DLC, but I couldn't actually get into the story very much. Playing as Kiryu, so I had to turn it off. But this was a game that I didn't 100% really love. I was playing it because I was really enjoying the battle system and the fighting. So yeah, I couldn't really love the game 100% like I love the Yakuza series, but this was just a fun palate cleanser game that you can beat in like 10 to 12 hours if you're just doing story mode. And to be honest with you, it's actually got me interested in the Fist of the North Star anime stuff now too. So I'll be watching back and checking out the other games that are on Xbox 360 as well. I think it seems interesting. This is something cool that I'm now kind of liking, because Yakuza as a series is kind of a gateway and open my eyes up to more stuff like this. Hey, before we get to the next game, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like weekly JRPG and gaming content. I would love to have you here week in and week out for some more cool stuff. Anyway, on to the next game. This is one that I just started today and I'm having a lot of fun. Okay, next up is Yakuza Dead Souls. I talked about this game a little bit in my Yakuza ranking video a few weeks ago, and to be honest with you, I didn't actually own the game. I was emulating it on my Steam Deck, and I had some issues getting it to run properly, and it crashed, and you know what? I just figured I'm just not going to bother. So I picked it up physically a couple of weeks ago, as I mentioned in my pickups video, and I started playing it on my PlayStation 3, and I'm really kind of enjoying myself. This is, again, another great palate cleanser game after playing JRPG after JRPG after JRPG. This is just fun, kind of mindless shooting at zombie fun with some of my favorite game characters now. I've gotten up to chapter 2 where I'm playing as Majima, and it just seems like he's ready for any challenge that comes at his way. And it's just funny, lighthearted zombie shooting stuff. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to enjoy a game like this. There's no killing god stories or whatever like I'm used to with JRPG stuff. This is just fun, and this is a really cool twist on the Yakuza series as well, because this is well and truly a spin-off game. Of course, if you're familiar with Yakuza lore, I mean, there's a character in this game that shouldn't really even be alive, but you know what, this is a fun game, and I know it's not everybody's favorite Yakuza game. It's not my favorite Yakuza game, but this is just fun. And look, if you can check it out, I think it's well worth your time just for something that you can complete in probably under 15 hours or so. Last on the list today is The Last Story. Now, this one is a bit interesting because I had been wanting to play this game for many, many years. And if you follow my channel, you know that I put up a video talking about Lost Odyssey last week, which is a game by Mistwalker from the minds of Hironobu Sakaguchi and composer Nobuo Uematsu. So I figured, you know what? Let's get a Wii, let's play The Last Story. And I did just that. But I found it, I don't know, I had a hard time actually getting it to run on my portable monitor that I have. I could go into a whole dissertation, but it just wasn't working. So I figured, you know what, I'm just going to get it working on my Steam Deck. Not only did it work for me, thankfully, kind of out of the box, but the textures and stuff were also a lot easier to read. As you know, with the Wii, it hasn't really aged very well, and playing 480p on a big giant screen, some of the words, you just have a hard time reading them when it comes with your user interface on the screen. It just wasn't a great visual experience. So that being said, playing on my Steam Deck would seem to be a lot better, and I was quite happy with maybe the first hour or so, but I really had a hard time with this game. And it's not often that I drop games, but I had to walk away from The Last Story. Nothing about this game was grabbing me. Nothing about this game seemed engaging to me. The story seemed really bland. The gameplay was really weird. The controls were really strange. It's a very strange battle system. It's kind of like Final Fantasy XII, but like the discount version of it, in a way where your characters kind of have automated behavior. You really only control your main character in terms of like actions, but you can also control spells and stuff of some of the other characters that are in battle with you. It is a very weird game. It's just strange because if you look at The Last Story on paper, game by Hironobu Sakaguchi, music by Nobuo Uematsu, it's kind of like the swan song JRPG of the Wii, some people say. Story about an up-and-coming knight trying to rescue everybody that he knows and loves. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like cliche JRPG stuff, and I normally like that. But once I started playing the game, it's really dry. I had a really hard time engaging with these characters, engaging with the story. And my rule is if something doesn't catch me within 10 hours, I have to drop out. And it's not often that I ever drop out on games or walk away from games, but kind of at the 9-hour mark, I think I got to chapter 22 with this game. I don't know, man. I just had a hard time. And I ended up looking up online what some other people were saying, and it seems like most people actually really enjoy this game. Some people were saying this is a top 10 JRPG. This is a classic story. Gameplay is awesome. Some of the controls are a little bit weird, but I found that not a lot of people shared my opinion. Maybe only a handful said that they found it a little bit boring, but I don't know of any people that were truly walking away. So have you played The Last Story? What are your opinions? What are your thoughts? This is a game that I just couldn't really enjoy. It's sad to say, but I really wanted to love it, but I can't force myself to play it and finish it because I'll burn out otherwise, and I really don't want to burn out on games, especially because it's the only thing that sometimes gets me through the week. With life being so busy, I really look forward to some downtime, and I don't want to end up scrolling my phone because I'm uninterested in a game that I'm trying to play to unwind. So yeah, it's The Last Story. Just didn't really do it for me. So there's a few games that I've been playing lately. Let me know down below in the comments what games you guys have been playing and maybe what games I should be checking out based on some of the games that I mentioned here. Maybe other than The Last Story. It's just a game that didn't really catch on with me. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next week on another video. Ta-da!